welcome to TWF Monday Night Raw, or Moon Night Raw. I, Michael Cole, with Pat McAfee and the Jackal, and today on Monday Night Raw, or Moon Night Raw, we're going to have a good show here today. You know, we now know that Cody Rhodes and Awana are going to fight for the TWF Heavyweight and World Heavyweight winnings, Michael Cole says, and that should be a good match. I can tell you right now, Pat McAfee says it will be a great match, Michael. I mean, you have Awana, a well-known Disney self. You got Cody Rhodes, a WWE wrestler, or we call them Overstars. I guess in WWE calls them Overstars, yes. And each one of them is going to be it's going to bring its, when that fight happens. I'll tell you one thing right now, the Jackal says. I still think it's unfair that Awana had to fight Keith Lee, beat Keith Lee, and now she has the right to fight Cody Rhodes. But on top of that, I really think it's unfair that now Velasquez and Kevin Owens can no longer fight Cody Rhodes anymore. Well, that, says the Jackal. I'll tell you right now, Jackal or Osiris or whatever you want to call yourself, that was the oversight. That Velasquez and Kevin Owens cannot wrestle or fight Cody Rhodes anymore. That was their last luck. They couldn't get it done, so they go in the back of the row. Yep, then they go back of the row, Michael Cole says. They're going to go in the back of the row, they're going to like it, and they can bitch and rant all they want, but it's not going to shift that they go back in the back of the row, Pat McAfee says. You know. Oh yeah, Jackal says. Like back when you were on NXT before you went to SmackDown, before going to Raw, you didn't do this back of the row bullshit, did you? No. First off, Pat McAfee says, we're not going to talk, first off, a lot of things I did when I was on NXT before I went to SmackDown before going to Raw. I done a lot more in my time in WWE than you ever did in your time in WWF, Jackal. So if you want to talk about folks that did a lot more things, I did a lot more things. I'm not the one that let the Truth Team break up. I'm not the one that let the Man-Like Oddities break up. I'm not the one that couldn't get along with Farouk and Bradshaw. And I wasn't the one that got kicked out of Wickedom of Darkness. Pat McAfee says. Alright, Gunther says. It's time for me to get all earnest about all the things that I've been doing. You see, I think that I should get back my TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings, which is held by a Deep Glee self, a Hallmark, sheet self. And let me tell you something. It was all a fluke all those times that I lost to her, because I can't see myself losing to her again. And if she already yielded up her right, to fight Cody Rhodes, then she should just yield up the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings and then, give it back to me. At least that's what I think. Well, here comes Daniel Bryan now, coming to the ring now. And Daniel Bryan says, come to the ring now. Alright, Gunther. We heard quiet auto, and you know what? You think that Rainbow Bright, Wisp Bright, whatever you want to call her, you think that she should just give up the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings right back to you? Yeah, Rainbow Bright did give up her right to fight Cody Rhodes, but that doesn't mean she's giving up her right to still be the TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter. And even if she did give up the TWF Pennsylvania Reich heavyweight winnings, you would not go to you, Gunther. You would have to be along with someone else, would have to wrestle and fight for it. Daniel Bryan, it's a stunt. It's a lark that I even lost to that Harmark self. You know, here I was bringing onlooking class to the Toy Wrestling Gathering Pennsylvania Reich winnings, only to get shamed and besmirched. Gunther, the only one you talk about class, you talk about onlook, but you don't like to give any class or onlook to anyone. Hell, you don't even have any good manners. You know, the only way you're gonna be fighting, the only way you're ever gonna be fighting for the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings is if you beat someone, and then that gives you the right to fight them. That's the only way that it's going to work. Well then, who am I going to be fighting then? Tell me, who am I going to be wrestling then, if I have the right to fight for the Pennsylvania Reich winnings again? Well, you'll have to be fighting Ninja. Oh, great. So, Gunther, you think that you're the greatest wrestler, the greatest fighter, the greatest overstar out there. Well, you're not. Yeah, you are. Come on, Gunther says. I have to wrestle a former Siobhan, former Disney, former Siobhan, now Hasbro self. I don't mind doing that. And you know what, Ninjor, since you got in my business, I won't mind beating up a mighty shifting mic keeper self. I won't care about beating up a Siobhan Glee, Walt Disney business, Siobhan Wealth Team, Hasbro in business self. I'm glad you know all the businesses that own the mic keepers over those 30 years or so. But I'm going to beat you. All right, Daniel Bryan, it is settled. It will be Ninjor taking on Gunther, and whoever wins has the right to fight Rainbow Bright for the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings. And this match is on now. Well, I get out of the ring. Well, we just heard from the main overseer of the TWF, Daniel Bryan, and now Gunther. Now Gunther is going to be fighting Ninjor here. But let's look at, first off, Michael Cole. I'll tell you what the Jackal says. Ninjor, he wasn't really known for fighting all that well. I mean, yeah, he did fight. Hey, the Jackal says, he can't do that. He should be watching over the great might in the behalf of God Almighty and Jesus the Son. The Jackal says, oh yeah, he thinks he's so great because he thinks he's going to beat up Gunther. Think again. Pat McAfee says Gunther is already in a bind right now, and Ninjor is already giving the ringleader a wrestling class. Maybe he'll teach him some class and onlook and some good manners while he's at it too, Pat McAfee says. Well, Michael Cole says Gunther right now. Oh, Gunther just took down Ninjor. Like that. Gunther, who says that he hates sports glee skilled wrestling, and he wants to make wrestling earnest. And Gunther right now taking down Ninjor with that spear. Well, Michael Cole says, now he's going to give him the mic slam. Hey, you know what's going to happen, the Jackal says? We're going to see this former Siobhan, former Disney, former Siobhan Hasbro self get choked out by Gunther, the Jackal says. Pat McAfee says, Ninjor strong. No way can Gunther beat Ninjor that smoothly, Pat McAfee says. Michael Cole says Gunther is going to choke out Ninjor. We had the fight lord, the fight lady coming over to see. His arm's going up. His arm's going up again. He's arming up again. Means Ninjor is getting ready. Body slam on Gunther. Ninjor the drop kick. A hip toss. Ninjor is bringing the fight to Gunther. Oh, Gunther just knocked him down again. And now Gunther just putting Ninjor back in the sleeper again. I hope that's not a choke, Michael Cole says. Oh, you wouldn't know, you would not know the unlikeness between a choke hold and a sleeper hold, the Jackal says. You only wrestled in a handful of matches starting from 2011 YL to 2012 YL, Michael Cole. And let me tell you something. You would not know the unlikeness between those two, the Jackal says. Hey, and I wrestled more times in WWE than you did, Jackal. You only wrestled once at the Living Sagas, 1997 YL. You had me be like, I don't know, 2 tag team matches with Kurgan, and that was mostly it. You didn't really wrestle that whole much, now did you? I wrestled in house shows. You know, I wrestled in dark matches. Thank you so much, Pat McAfee. You know, well, we don't need to be fighting Pat and Jackal over all of this. That's it. Ninjor's done inning. Here is your winner. Here is your winner. And now has the right to fight Rainbow Bright for the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings is, you know, Gunther. And Gunther has beaten Ninjor here today on Monday Night Raw, Michael Cole says, or Monday Night Raw. And to tell folks, no one really thought that Gunther would beat Ninjor. You know, that Ninjor would be more stronger, and he could somehow beat Gunther. But no, that did not happen. Michael Cole says, no, it did not happen, Pat McAfee says. You know, Ninjor did put up a fight. He gave more of a fight that Gunther thought he would do. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough, though. You know, it just wasn't enough. Pat McAfee says, well, the Jackal said there'll never be enough. The ring leader, the ring fighter, whatever you want to call him, you know, he'll be fighting Rainbow Bright, and you will see him as the three-time TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter once again. All right, we'll take it away now with Gorilla Monsoon, Michael Cole says. Thank you, Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. I'm going to be talking with Ninjor here today on Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Raw. Whoa! Alright, Ninjor, things didn't quite go the way you wanted them to go. You got that right, Gorilla Monsoon. I thought that I would beat Gunther, and I thought I would be having the right, you know, to fight and, you know, to be fighting Rainbow Bright for the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings. But sadly, that did not happen. Well, you know, nothing to feel ashamed of, because since Gunther is a good wrestler, he lacks on-look and class and manners, Gorilla Monsoon says. Yeah, Gunther doesn't know anything about class or on-look or good manners. He wants everyone else to on-look him, give him class, give him on-look, show good manners to him, but he doesn't want to do anything anyone else. While Gorilla Monsoon says class and on-look and good manners does a lot of good things in life, and even in skilled wrestling, There's always class and onlook and good manners in skilled wrestling. And once Gunther learns that, you think Gunther would have learned that, Gorilla Monsoon said. You would have thought Gunther would have learned that growing up. About class and onlook and good manners, Gorilla Monsoon. But I guess Gunther never learned that from his mother or his father. You know, you can be a great wrestler or a great fighter or a great overstar, but if you don't have any onlook or class or good manners, it's not going to mean nothing. You got that right, Ninjor. Sorry you didn't beat Gunther, but hopefully one day you do beat him. Well, where there's life, there is hope, Gorilla Monsoon. Thank you. You're welcome. Well, that's my talk with Gunther. My talk with Ninjor. Back to you, Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. Well, thank you, Gorilla Monsoon, for talking with Ninjor here today on Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Raw, and that's all the time we got here. That's all. Wait a minute! Hey! Gunther just slamming Ninjor once again and just knocked him right off that board. Nothing more than a weakling. That's shameful, Michael Cole says. Yes, it is, Pat McAfee says. What a great way to end Monday Night Raw, or Moon Night Raw, the Jackal says.